Copilot Studio has got itself a new user interface, and with this comes new capability, a new concept known as a harness, and new billing that you should be aware of. So to get things started, you can see I'm already over in the new user interface, which only dropped on the 3rd of August. So it's slowly making its way out to you and your organization. And the first thing to note really on the top here, where we've been used to building agents and apps using descriptions, anything you do in this new user interface will consume credits. That's right, if you're looking to build an agent using your own natural language, then you will be billed for that experience. So use this with caution if you're wanting to experiment. Now, moving down, we can see we have this agent tab. This is in fact the new GitHub Copilot Harness. Now, what this means is, rather than using that traditional chat experience that you build in Copilot Studio that you've come to know over the last couple of years using generative orchestration, that's been not replaced, but upgraded to now include a better harness. And harness is really a word you need to learn for 2026 because it gives you that choice. So the default experience, this new harness, it launched just 1 month ago in early preview, and here we have it now in GA, where you can see this new simplified user interface, simple instructions for your agent, and of course over on the right hand side, the ability to provide skills. Again, something for 2026. We're seeing skills appear everywhere across different platforms on SharePoint, in PowerPoint, in Word, GitHub Copilot, everywhere. It is definitely something that allows you to break down those tasks of your agent into simple procedure manuals. They are markdown files, they are skills. They can also include things like artifacts. You can include a zip file that has documents and also Python. And Copilot Studio with this new GitHub Copilot Harness can of course support that too. And then as we move down the right hand side, we have access to tools. Same concept here, model context protocol. You have your connectors, your actions, but note workflows is no longer the agent flows that we've come to know. It is workflows, and these things are currently going two separate ways. Workflows will be billed for using Copilot credits. Agent flows are from the original interface that you can still use. It's still an option, and you'll find out shortly how that affects billing. Knowledge, that's where your agent, of course, gets its grounding from. So you still have access to SharePoint, public websites, etc. It does look like a slightly reduced version of knowledge from what we knew, but of course, this will grow over time. You can connect your agents and, very exciting, memory. We've seen memory in Copilot already, where you can let the agent know what your preferences are. Same idea applies here. If you want to build an agent where the user can save their preferences for their particular conversations with that agent, you can enable that memory. And I'm very excited to see what you use that for in your future agents. Now, this user interface has been about now for about 2 months. We can preview our agent, which is a lovely improvement on the original interface. You have the evaluation and the monitor, which I can't go into right now because I haven't built. But if I jump back into our homepage, we've covered building an agent using this new GitHub Copilot Harness. You can also build workflows, also using that harness and consuming Copilot credits. You'll note that if I click on that experience, we have this new amazing experience that natively integrates with agents, not only custom that you've built, but also you can build agents inline and also connect to Microsoft 365 agents by using this drop down here and choosing something like the researcher agent. So there's lots of brand new capabilities that are available. It's really agentic now versus conversational, which is what we used to have in the original user interface. And if I jump into documentation, you'll see that we have the concept of harnesses being described. This GitHub Copilot harness, which gives us that agentic capability, the looping, the decision making, the long running tasks, versus the standard harness, which we've come to know and understand and see the limitations through Copilot Studio, all the way down to the original Copilot chat harness, which you see today in Copilot, and you can indeed still extend in Copilot Studio. There's also this table at the bottom of this document that includes the reasons for and against using those different harnesses. So something to bear in mind in terms of capability. Where do you need to be building that agent next time you're looking to build something custom? Do you go down the route of the GitHub Copilot Harness, which of course gives you access to skills and memory that breaks down the instruction set and saves on bloating those instructions? Or if that's not a requirement, can you still use that standard harness, which we'll go and pop over and have a quick look at just to remind ourselves what it's all about. But do note the billing, Copilot credits for GitHub Copilot Harness agents, anything you build there will be billed for, including building an agent using that Copilot experience. Standard harness agents are included for users that are licensed with Copilot as long as that agent is deployed to Teams or Microsoft 365 Copilot. Because of course, custom agents in Copilot Studio can be deployed to different channels like WhatsApp and Facebook and other platforms, there is billing associated. So there is that exception for users that are licensed if it's used in the context of Teams or Copilot. Anything over and above that, it's the same idea, Copilot credits. So how do you choose a traditional agent in Copilot Studio? Well, you have this other ways to build, and that gives you the ability to use that standard harness, the one that we've been using the last couple of years, generative orchestration or classic orchestration. And if you click on that, you're given the ability to jump back into the original user interface. I can give my agent a name, and we have our very familiar user interface. This is using the original generative orchestration, the classic harness, and we have access to the same knowledge, the same tools, the agents, topics, which some users still want to use for that conversational pattern, the deterministic patterns that you can create, and then the other things like activity evaluation, monitoring, and of course, deployment to different channels. Things do now get a little bit confusing because this is a completely different user interface. But if you're unsure what agent harness have I used, over on the left-hand side, we can choose agents, and you can see both the standard and the new GitHub Copilot Harness agents that I've built now have this powered by column. So we can see this one here is consuming Copilot credits. And of course, the original one here is consuming credits if the user has no license or if it is not deployed to a Copilot or Teams channel. If I scroll all the way down, I also have an example of a Copilot chat harness where I originally built a declarative agent using Copilot Studio so that it was using the original Copilot harness. I do recommend you check out the Copilot credits guide that's been released. Copilot credits are definitely the universal method of paying for agents. And whilst you can go straight for pay as you go, you do have the ability to buy credits up front and receive quite a hefty discount, up to 20%. Note that credits part of this P3 plan, the pre-purchase plan, are for consumption over 12 months. So it's not a monthly reset, it is a bulk pack of credits to be consumed over the whole entire year, which gives you plenty of flexibility for trialing and exploring the capabilities. And of course, those Copilot credits can be used also not only for workflows and agents in Copilot Studio, but co-work, for instance. Speaking of which, as I scroll down, there is a section about Copilot Co-work, which is the agentic agent experience we see in Copilot right now. It uses Copilot credits, and it has a more complex costing model because there are a multiple of 4 requirements that make up that Copilot credit cost. Your build for the models, the context, the tools, and the runtime, and we have examples of co-work task types. So as you scroll down, don't be alarmed to find that that's how the new GitHub Copilot Harness works too. Not only are you billed for the consumption of credits when you build an agent, like I said at the beginning of the video, and here are some examples, number of credits. Remember, a credit is worth about 1 US cent. So just simply divide by 100 and that'll give you the dollar amount. And as I scroll down, you'll see we have an example of the cost for a conversation using that new GitHub Copilot Harness. We're looking at 100 to 300 credits for a light scenario, all the way through to 500 plus, which is of course about $5 based on 0 discounts. So my advice to you as a user is think carefully about the capability you're looking to build with an agent. Do you need that new GitHub Copilot harness? Be aware of the cost associated with that harness. And if you're an administrator, jump across into the Power Platform Admin Center, into licensing Copilot Studio, and go and explore managing those Copilot credits so that you don't end up with some unexpected surprises. This is a really exciting time. We're now seeing fully agentic experiences in Copilot Studio with these long running agents and models and the ability to write Python, etc. The use of skills, memory, but with that comes a new responsibility, cost, what's the most efficient way of building stuff, not only in terms of time, but in terms of cash. My name's Damien Bird. Thanks very much for watching. Leave me some comments below. Let me know what you thought of this video. What are you building next? And I look forward to seeing you again sometime soon. Cheers.